Hello there, mind if I join you? This view, isn't it something? The ocean just seems to stretch on forever, kind of like life. You look out at the horizon, and you can't help but think about where you've been and where you're going. My wife, Sarah, she's probably at the spa or reading in the lounge. She tells me I think too much, but out here, it's hard not to. Seeing all this, feeling this peace, it takes me back. Way back. I wasn't always this calm. Growing up, things were tough. I was a difficult kid, always getting into scrapes, always feeling like I was on the outside looking in. School was a nightmare. I couldn't focus. The words on the page looked like a jumbled mess, and I felt so incredibly stupid. The other kids knew it, and they weren't shy about letting me know. It felt like every day was a battle just to exist, to not feel completely worthless. There was a lot of pain, a lot of anger bubbling just beneath the surface. I built walls so high, I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to see over them myself. But my dad, he never gave up on me. He was a quiet man, a carpenter. Didn't say much, but he didn't need to. He saw the storm inside me. I remember one day, after I'd gotten into another fight at school, I came home expecting a lecture, expecting to be grounded for life. Instead, he took me out to his workshop. The air smelled of sawdust and patience. He didn't say a word about the fight. He just handed me a piece of rough, splintered wood and a piece of sandpaper. He said, "Son, just feel the wood. Then, start sanding. Don't stop until it's smooth." So I sanded. For hours. My anger, my frustration, I poured all of it into that piece of wood. My knuckles were raw, my arm ached, but I kept going. And slowly, miraculously, the rough surface started to change. It became smooth, warm to the touch. When I was done, my dad took it, held it up to the light, and just nodded. He said, "See? No matter how rough something starts, with enough work, enough patience, it can become something beautiful. You're just like this piece of wood. Son, you've got some rough edges, but you're not broken." That moment, it changed everything. It wasn't a magic fix, but it was a start. It was the first time I felt like maybe, just maybe, I wasn't a lost cause. He taught me that it's okay to have rough edges, as long as you're willing to do the work to smooth them out. He passed away a few years ago, but I still have that piece of wood. It sits on my desk. A constant reminder. Life moved on. I managed to get through school, found a decent job, and then I met Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
She was like a sunrise after a long, dark night. She saw past the walls I still kept up. She saw the person my dad knew was in there. We fell in love, got married, had 2 wonderful kids. For a while it felt like I'd finally made it. I was living the dream I never thought I'd deserve. But life has a funny way of testing you, doesn't it? Just when you think you're sailing smoothly, a storm hits. For me, it was my 40s. The midlife crisis cliché, I know, but it was real. The kids were growing up, getting ready to leave the nest. My career, which had been my focus for so long, suddenly felt empty. I'd look in the mirror and see this man who was supposed to have it all figured out. But inside, I felt like that lost little boy again. The old anxieties, the feeling of not being good enough, it all came rushing back. I became distant, moody. I started pushing Sarah away, retreating back behind those old walls I thought I'd torn down. I was close to losing everything. I was so wrapped up in my own misery that I couldn't see the pain I was causing her. One evening, after I'd been particularly cold and distant, she sat me down. I was expecting her to say she was leaving. I probably deserved it, but she didn't. She took my hand, looked me straight in the eye, and her own eyes were full of tears. She said, "I know you're lost right now. I know you feel like you're drowning, but I am not letting you go. I held on when we were young and figuring things out, and I'm holding on now. But you have to hold on with me. You have to fight." It was my dad in the workshop all over again. Another person refusing to give up on me. Her holding on was the lifeline I needed. It was a wake-up call. I realized I was so focused on what I thought was missing that I was ignoring the incredible life I actually had. I had a wife who loved me unconditionally, kids who, despite my moodiness, still looked up to me. I had so much to be grateful for. From that day on, I started working on myself again. This time, it wasn't with sandpaper. It was with therapy, with long talks with Sarah, with rediscovering the things that brought me joy. I started volunteering, sharing my own experiences with younger people who were struggling like I did. It turns out, helping others smooth out their rough edges helps you keep your own smooth, too. And that brings me here, on this magnificent ship, with the woman who held on, sailing toward a beautiful sunset. When I look back now, I don't just see the pain or the struggle, I see the journey. I see a little boy who felt worthless, a young man who found his way, and a man who nearly lost it all, but was saved by love. Every moment, even the tough ones, they're part of the story. They're what make this view, right now, so incredibly sweet. Life is fragile, isn't it? You never know how many sunsets you have left, so you have to cherish them. You have to notice the way the light dances on the water, feel the breeze on your skin, and be grateful for the journey that brought you here. My purpose now, it's simple, to enjoy these fragile, beautiful moments, and to share my story, in case there's someone else out there who feels like a rough piece of wood, just to let them know they're not broke. With a little work, and a little love, they can be smoothed, too. Thanks for letting an old man ramble. It's been a pleasure sharing this view with you. If you enjoyed this little chat, maybe stick around for more stories from the sea. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps more people find these moments. Take care now.